So small little pullback on BTC. I think it's to be expected. These altcoins are starting to drop in some very interesting zones that we were talking about yesterday. And is it danger time now for some of these altcoins? Is there a warning signal flashing that we need to actually really focus on and pay a little bit more attention to? So guys, we're talking about that. Obviously, I've got tons of setups for you. It's all going down today. Let's get right into this. Remember to hit that like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. I think you know by now. Most of you know by now. There's the man. There's the
bullish.
We're still bullish, okay? We're still bullish. I'm short BTC. Ray, are you still short BTC?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're both still short BTC. We're going to take you through it, but could be just a short-term situation. Now, Banter Bubble's giving us a mixed bag. Ooh, this tower. I haven't looked at this today. What a mess. That's minus 8%. Celestia, the world's biggest shitcoin. I'm talking about that today. Massive unlock on Celestia. Is it going to get sent to zero, or is everybody trying to short it, and is this thing now going to pump? So we're talking about that guy as well. RUNE taking some strain, but I think we're getting close to entry zones on RUNE and lots of these others. We can see Link is outperforming. You've noticed ETH strength today. Look at Lido, look at Uni, look at Maker, Aave. ETH is waking up again. The ETH bonus is in the house. But let's talk BTC quickly. And do you see CAS? I know a lot of you are panicking on CAS. I've got CAS for you guys. It's under control. We're going to get it. Okay. BTC on the 4 hour. Now, this thing, they really sweated me last night because I started shorting this thing at around 72,800. So that was where I started laddering in. Then they really put me under a little bit of pressure there. A little bit of squeaky bum time trying to grab that little short, but exactly what we were looking for. We wanted to see a fake out. Do you concur? You want to see a fake out through one of these guys?
Sure.
So, yeah, it was pressure. I mean, Ray and I were talking after the show. We were like, ooh, sweating a little bit here, but looking good. Okay, so typical fake out, grab some liquidity to the upside. You know the drill now, guys. These stop hunts, they send it up. They grab the liquidity. They start sending it back down. So what do we do now with BTC? We are in hot zone number 1. Now, that is our 236 fib. 71,730. So this is our first reaction area, and you can see BTC is listing very nicely because it's reacting on that zone. So that is where we pay attention to now, 71,730. Then I've got an interesting zone for you here from 70,500 down to 70K. This is a banger. For me, it's a 382. It's got horizontals. We've got anchored VWAP coming in as well. So mark this one on your charts. That could be the next big bounce zone. If we start losing levels here on BTC, that is your next banger. That is where the next zone is that we're going to put some breaks on. Then a little bit lower down, 69,500. So these are the levels that I'm concerned about today. And we don't need to go lower, okay? Let it do its thing. One of these, we're going to get some kind of nice little move off one of these levels. So keep watching that. Here's the situation, okay? Basically, try to catch that absolute top on that BTC short, and then they sent it higher. We were definitely sweating bullets. So this is me on Prime XBT. You can see I've done something very interesting today. I'm short BTC, but I'm long ETH. Now, has anybody noticed that ETH versus BTC has turned green on the weekly? That ETH is showing a little bit of strength again. Why am I on ETH, bro? Ray, can you make it stop? But anyway, it looks like the trade at the moment is short BTC and long ETH. So let's see how this plays out. I've now moved my stop to 73,055. Let's see if we get more downside. You now have the targets that we are watching. You've got these zones. These are the areas where we can clip off profits if it does start falling over. So that is that. And let's talk about some news. And then Vivek is telling us that Bitcoin is the best performing asset in the last decade. I think we know that. Okay, just a nice little reminder when things are getting a little bit bullish here for us. It's nice to sit back and remember and say, okay, 569% up. Okay, looking good versus Google. Look at Tesla, all these types of things. 569,000% up for BTC, unreal. And then the ETFs, some of the biggest inflows that we've seen, $3.3 billion in trades. That was yesterday afternoon, biggest number in 6 months, which is a bit odd because BTC was only up 4%. Okay, occasionally the volume can spike if there's FOMOing frenzy, all these types of things. So guys, it's hotting up out there. Things are looking good. We're getting into this time. Okay, if you, like I've been saying for the last while, for the last few months, if you're watching this show every day, you watching crypto content, you are grinding it out there on crypto at the moment. Soon you are going to get your moment, and they're going to tell you that you are just lucky. Okay, and you weren't fucking lucky because you are watching the Lord of Entry. Okay, you are watching Uncle Run with all his stuff. Okay, you've done the work now. Now's your time. This is where it's going to start coming right for you guys. And then we spoke about Google yesterday, and I've got Microsoft for you as well. Earnings came out. Look at this. Beat. Now, we were looking at Google yesterday saying this thing's looking quite bullish, pressing into that 100-day moving average. It was looking like it could be teeing up for a move, right? How's this rocket ship, bro? Absolute rocket on Google. And they went straight through our first resistance zone. But look at that. All they've done is close this gap. Now, we did highlight there was a gap over there. Now, all they've done is close the gap. So for me, it smells like a short opportunity here on Google. This is big resistance here, this 182. I would be cautious up here. If you try to trade stocks now, the trade yesterday was Google there. Okay, if you're looking for this now, let it settle down, let it do what it needs to do. But this is resistance now. The gap has been closed for Google. 182, 180, 180 resistance zone now for Google. Let it settle, but looking good from that side of things. And then this is an interesting one. Now, I think there's going to be a short on Microsoft because now we've had Google beating their earnings. So now what is the market saying? Oh, well, maybe Microsoft's going to beat their earnings. Let's buy now. And you can see Microsoft seems to be front running their earnings that are coming later. So I would exercise extreme caution. There was a trade yesterday on Microsoft that we were looking at, this breakout of that trend. Now we are pushing too high. So I would be very cautious here on Microsoft. It's starting to smell like something like that is brewing for us. Remember, they're pricing in now the hope that there could be some big results. So let it play out, but hopefully some of you guys got this breakout on Microsoft yesterday. And then the S&P, looking good. And look, on track, 6,000 is what we're watching. Key support here, 5,800. No changes to the S&P, looking nice, leading into elections. And then how's this one? CZ, he came alive. He says, feels like everyone is in town. And then look what he posted here at the bottom. He's been eating prison food there. He says it's so hard to resist good food now. Look at that picture. But anyway, I thought the man is back. Now remember, whenever he used to tweet, BNB used to do amazing things. And I thought, let's jump into the BNB chart. And it's actually done nothing. It's almost like the market wasn't that interested in CZ. So BNB is still in our original short zone that we highlighted probably a week or two ago. We were looking at shorts here on BNB, and it's back in the resistance band. So no news on BNB yet. I would say no trade yet. If anything, coming down a little bit, that is what we'll look for. Alternatively, look for a pop there, something like that on BNB. But right now, big resistance for you at 610. I wouldn't touch this thing just yet until it starts breaking some interesting levels. So that is that. Okay, Ray, keep me posted. Yeah, let me know if there's any drama in the markets. The high conviction stuff, we good. Okay, that stuff's now cruising. It's doing our work for us. No changes there. And let's talk at BTC on the 3-day. This is a critical one, obviously, for us. You can see what happened yesterday. This tells the beautiful story. Look at that, straight into our all-time high resistance, little rejection, and now we wait and see. Remember, our target is 89K. I do believe we're going to get there at some point. Okay, so 89K is loaded. The question now is, how do we get there? So ideally on the 3-day chart, you can see major support 68,700. That's a massive level on that 3-day. If this trend is going to continue, that's pretty much where you want to see that thing hold. So best thing, this BTC bounces at 68,700 if there is some kind of further pullback now in the market. So that is the big one we want to pay attention to. 89 upside, that is what I'm loving. No changes to the others market. These are our altcoins. No real changes. Holding support, 200 billion. We happy. Everything is in play there. You can see we've even got our MAs. Let's just throw them back in there. Make sure they are doing their thing. We're holding up 100-day MA, 50-day MA. We are good for now. No reason to panic yet on these altcoins, but this could be something for us. Now, I just wanted to paint a scenario for you. Now, by the time we've hit 60%, we know everybody has been talking about 60% dominance being the absolute top. And what have we learned in crypto? We've learned one thing very important. When everybody wants the same thing in crypto, it often doesn't happen. Okay, so we've reached that point now. Everybody agrees that 60%, where's this major rejection that we're getting on these altcoins? And yes, this is a major weekly level. I've been calling this level for how many months, Ray? 3 months, 2 months. we've been looking for this level, okay? Everyone's jumping on the bandwagon, and we are at our big resistance area. So in a perfect world, if we play the charts exactly what we see in front of us, we've got a macro 618 fib pool. We know this thing is incredibly strong. Then on top of that, we've got multiple weekly candles offering resistance here. And like I've explained before, it would be very odd if we didn't get a rejection when we push into this type of region. And you can see that it has put its brakes on in the meantime. But I want to raise one concern for you guys, and that we need to just understand and be aware of. What if BTC starts falling over to 68K? What if it starts testing that 3-day support level? What if we get put under a little bit more pressure here on BTC? Well, then I suspect we're going to see something happening here with dominance. So we got to have one eye on this situation. We need the altcoins to be in control. And how the altcoins can be in control, that dominance needs to be rejecting. If it starts blowing through this 618 region, if it starts pumping through the 60% zone, I've got a feeling we're going to be in trouble on some of these altcoins, and this thing can start pushing higher. So I just want to remind everybody again, make sure when you are trading up and down, taking profits along the way, okay? Make sure you have spot bags doing work for you as well, just in case. Make sure your margin trades are doing work for you guys. If your only strategy is high leverage trading, even in a bull market, you're going to get yourself in a tailspin if things don't go your way. So I just want to remind you guys, as always, anything can happen in crypto. We had a major resistance area. Yes, we should reject. We should have alt season. Things should be amazing. Be prepared in case it doesn't. Make sure you are prepared for that thing. That is all I want to say. Okay, Ray, do you concur? Do you concur? The lecture is over. The lecture is over. Okay. Now we're going to have some fun. Okay, now we got some altcoins for you guys. Now we're going to look at some entries here. Okay. Right. I hate to say it. I really hate to say it. This is Carbon. I hate to say it, but ETH people are the XRP people from the last cycle. Why is this making me feel like a boomer? I feel like an absolute dusty boomer for having so much ETH conviction. It's actually disgusting how long I am on ETH at the moment again. So you saw Prime XBT, I'm long. I'm long on ByBit. I'm on Sumex. Anyway, let's talk. ETH versus BTC. What do we like about this? Okay, you can see ETH BTC on the weekly, it's turned green. I'm actually going to zoom in for you guys. Now, remember yesterday or 2 days ago, I was saying I'm really getting desperate here. I'm clutching at straws, and I added this lower trend for us, looking for that bounce. Now, this is tying in on some weekly levels for us as well. And we did notice today that ETH was outperforming Bitcoin. It was actually quite pleasant. And then we saw things like Link start pumping. We saw PEPE start taking off, like James is saying, from our entry zone that I gave you guys yesterday. So a little bit of ETH strength out there. Things were looking interesting. So now we're going to start getting a tighter look here. What is Cunning George saying? Now we have some altcoins to get rinsed on. Okay, let's talk ETH. You can see the situation. We've had our second crack. And yesterday I told you, if we start breaking that trend, things could be on for ETH. So your safest stop, once again, 2588 for ETH. That is your most reasonable stop zone. If you're going a little bit more degen like me, you can have a much tighter stop. But if you want a reasonable stop on ETH, 2,580 is what you're going to be looking at. That would be a retest of the 100-day MA. That would be a retest of your daily levels. Now, if this thing does get energy, this candle is going to get taken out relatively quickly. It will be a monumentous occasion. Okay, this thing will get taken out pretty fast, I would suggest. And then we're going to be looking at the 3,000 level. So that is why, like 𝗕𝗓 was saying the other day, and I think Chaos was saying the other day, the minute you're out of it, this thing's going to rip. So again, I've got my eye on this thing every day, watching this thing closely. I suspect 3,300 comes pretty quickly if we start getting some ETH momentum. Remember, there'll be shorts here, lots of stops in those types of regions, and lots of liquidity there. Bang, 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 bang. That is what I'm looking for on ETH. Okay, so let's go METIS. Now, we covered METIS not too long ago, and a nice little ETH play as well. And I saw Virtual Bacon. He's talking about METIS. He says, as expected, METIS is one of the first infra coins to run when Bitcoin breaks out. Okay, he thinks this thing is getting ready to rip. Now, we did discuss this on the show, and I gave you guys an entry. I gave you guys two entries, the 382 fib and the 618 pullback to support. The entry zones were 41 and 37. That is what we were watching for METIS. This thing has now bounced off the 618. They gave us that 618, 100-day, 50-day MA, looking good now. And METIS, for me, is now on track, okay, for this bigger move. So we do have the 93% play coming for METIS phase 1. Okay, we got to break the 200-day MA. Let's get through that heavy zone. But anybody who jumped into METIS with me of these levels, you're good now. Okay, you can, in fact, you can look at a support zone now. You can watch 41. That is your main support you want to watch. If we start closing under that, then maybe it's going to start turning a little bit messy again. But right now, 41 is all you need. Okay. Let's check it out. So there was an interesting mix going on here in ByBit at the moment. And you're going to see I've got quite a vibe going here with RUNE. Okay, so yesterday, when do we get the RUNE trade? Right, it was a couple of days ago. We pumped that RUNE trade. Okay, absolute banger. Okay, instead of taking profit. Now, this is, you're only going to do this degen shit. Okay, you can only do this degen shit if you have conviction. Okay, that something is going to continue a trend. Okay, if you believe that something is going to continue a trend, then you can do some stupid stuff that I'm about to show you. And RUNE was pumping. It's a $30,000 RUNE position. That thing bumped into a major resistance band. Now, instead of taking profit on RUNE, I said to myself, okay, I'm not going to close a portion of this trade. I'll just open a short at the top of the move. And my conviction is that RUNE is going to now drift lower, and we're going to start buying up the 382. We're going to buy up the 618 fib, and we're going to try and grow a RUNE position. So that was my strategy there. And you can see my current rebuy order for RUNE is sitting at 5.68, and my take profit for the short is sitting at 5.68. So the plan here is the short will close and it will open some more for that long position. So Limit X, let's do stupid stuff. Come on. Let's do stupid stuff together. And that is how I want to build a bigger RUNE trade. Now, you're making the assumption naturally that RUNE is going to continue moving up. Okay, if you believe in that system, then you can do these types of trades. Now, I'm going to show you Link today. Okay, at a TP zone. I'm going to show you what happened with PEPE as well. That would have been a great example that you could do this on. So if you guys want to learn something new, it's a little hedging technique, but you need the bias. Watch, okay? Keep watching. Okay, so RUNE on its way down. You can see it's a smaller short, okay? So that short is up $780. The long is up $1,100. There's some ETH action for you, some more ETH action if you think I didn't have enough. There's PEPE. What a fucking ride this thing was. James, did you see that PEPE? I'm going to tell you guys about this now. Link, you can see Link's a little bit of a banger at the moment. That was a momentum trade yesterday. We got a sharp Link trend break yesterday after the show. That thing started taking off. Injective doing its thing, and Sol, well, I think Sol is tired. Okay, I think Richard says stupid stuff is by default. Guys, come do stupid stuff with me. Okay, so Sol, I think Sol's tired. Okay, obviously I'm not closing Sol. I think it's going to be tired. Other things are going to run. Sol will do its thing, and then Sol will come back again. So I'm keeping that Sol position open at the moment. Let's talk PEPE. What a fucking ride. Did anyone go on this PEPE ride? Now, guys, did I give you this PEPE zone, or did I give you this PEPE zone yesterday? I believe we were talking about 92 to 93 yesterday for PEPE. Okay, and I want to show you guys exactly why these are high conviction areas. I really want you to pay attention to this and what we got here. Okay, 382 fib, anchored VWAPs in play. Horizontals, okay, a little bit lower down, we had our 50-day moving average. When we get a price dipping into that type of zone, you need to start paying attention. Now, it doesn't always rip, off these areas, but we know it puts the brakes on in those types of zones. So this was one of the entries I gave you, and I want to emphasize again, for anybody watching the show today that missed yesterday, literally every single day, I give you setups that you can watch. Some of the setups take a day or three to play out. Some of the setups will happen while you're watching the show live, but I strongly recommend, even if you miss the live show, watch it a few hours later, watch it the next day. Okay, sometimes I literally go on my phone, I watch my show to get confirmed the levels that I was talking about if I'm looking for positions. So the show's valid basically for sometimes 24 to 48 hours. Make sure you get those zones, because you sometimes get a situation like this. PEPE drops into the zone. If you missed it yesterday, well, there was your entry. Okay, big little banger on PEPE. So like I've said before, watch the show daily, take some notes, identify the tokens that you like, and just write them down. Obviously, you don't have to trade all of them. You want to just focus on the ones that you like. So PEPE, great little banger zone for us yesterday, and reacting off a reaction zone perfectly. Now, if I was sharp enough and wasn't doing show stuff and doing all the other things, I would have done the same technique that I just did on RUNE. So you saw I shorted RUNE at a resistance band. So I longed PEPE. You can see I'm $30,000 long in PEPE. This would have been the ultimate zone to open a PEPE hedge short play, okay, with the assumption that that's a TP zone. So instead of taking profit, open a little short, write it down for some kind of pullback. Now, that doesn't work every time, but you can see the theory behind it is working on the RUNE trade. And, that's the typical idea behind it. So either take profit or open up a short as a hedge, but make sure you're doing it at good, solid areas. Now, this is a prime example of a good resistance band. So now what do you do for PEPE if you are sitting in PEPE like me? Okay, my stop is under those candle lows. I'm going to leave it now, let this thing play out a little bit. Big resistance band, 0.010 is what you're going to be watching. And then we do have a beautiful little target here for PEPE, and I think a little bit of ETH action again, and a little bit of a market wake up, and PEPE's going another 10% there for us. So the target would be 0.011 on PEPE is what you're going to be watching. So hopefully that little technique helps you guys. Let me know in the chats if it makes sense to you. Let me know what you're thinking, or is it absolute degen? Let's actually see who's hanging out here with us today. Let's see who we got. We got 𝗬𝗓𝗕𝗓. He loves doing stupid stuff. And I see 𝗦𝗘𝗕𝗕𝗕 says, motherfucking 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗕𝗟𝗑. What? Motherfucking savage. Is that thing still around? Is that savage still around? Make money, travel, enjoy, says she re-watches the shows. Zen says, thanks for the due diligence. Look, guys, at the end of the day, I want you guys to really do well, and I want you to maximize. If you're watching the show and you're not really paying attention, then maybe you're not getting the most out of it that you can. Like yesterday's PEPE entry, it materialized today. And I'm going to show you some other entries that are coming on some of these other tokens that we spoke about yesterday. Neil, I've got Sui for you, bro. It's coming in hot. I've got PopCat entries coming in hot as well. And Anna says she got stopped before the pump. Let's see, Calvin, I've got Sui for you. Philip says yes. He says yes. I don't know. And James says, who killed PEPE mid-bounce? That was so offensive. That was properly offensive, okay? That's such bullshit. Come on. We just want to go to the moon. It's bullshit. Okay, Kevin's here. Yes, and get him. 𝗕𝗓𝗟𝗪 provocations says, check TIA. We got it, bro. It's coming. Okay, let's talk RUNE. And you saw my strategy there on RUNE, and I just want to highlight for you guys again. Here's a buy zone incoming for RUNE. So what do we have here? We've got our 382, we've got our anchored VWAP, and we've got our horizontals in play here for RUNE. So this is a buy zone approaching for RUNE, 5.67. We're looking for that type of reaction. Let's just zoom out. Let's just give you some idea there. You can see those levels there. You can see why that is an interesting zone for us. So horizontals in play, anchored VWAP in play, bullish 382 in play. So that makes sense as a new buy region for me on RUNE. Then the big one. Okay, well, look, we got a couple. I'm going to highlight the 0.5. Okay, there's a nice 0.5 here for you as well. Ties in with horizontals. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, and then you've got your last ditch is that 618. I mean, it's filthy. By the time we hit that 618, this market is filth. I'm telling you, Bitcoin's at like 66K or something disgusting. So just watch this closely. So mark these now on your charts. If you're looking for a RUNE entry, let's say you want to build a swing long on RUNE, what can you do? 5.67, 5.48, 5.23. Those are your areas. That's where you want to accumulate. One of those should give you some kind of big move there out of RUNE. So if you want to have a slow burner, you can start a very low leverage as long as your bias is that the market trends up. If that's your bias, this is how you're going to do it. So 382, 0.5, 618 fib. Those are the big zones that you want to start accumulating. Check it out. And we'll obviously update RUNE as we go. And if the market keeps falling over, well, Sniper Club guys, we'll talk a little bit in there, but you'll see me tomorrow to deal with it. Okay, and then here is Bitfunded. So I also traded some link breakout plays on Bitfunded, and I've still got one of those RUNE positions here at the moment. And in fact, link is sitting at resistance. So let's just take a look at that. So I'm going to close one of these Bitfunded positions. Let's close that quickly. Okay, done. Okay, so I'm leaving one link position open. Okay, that one is closed now. Remember, Bitfunded, guys, this is a demo account that they give you. So you pay them for a demo account. Then they send you a test. You've got to make 8%. Then you've got to make 5%. Stage 1, stage 2. If you pass that test, they give you real money that you trade with. There's certain rules about how much you can lose per day. There's certain rules about how much you can lose on the account. But then ultimately, any profits you make, they're yours. 80 to 90% of those profits you get to keep. So that is Bitfunded. And I'm still busy with the stages. This is a $50,000 account. So, I'm not trading massive positions here. I don't want to rinse myself in this account. So I'm just grinding it out slowly. We are getting there. Okay, so again, manage your risk with Bitfunded, because it's very easy, if you want to go in and you say, oh, well, this account only cost me $79, and then you ape in and you get wiped on the first one, then you get wiped on the second one. Next thing, you've rinsed yourself $150 because you don't have good risk management. So it definitely helps you with your risk management. It helps you with your discipline. And it really, most importantly, it helps you with your position sizing, understanding position sizing. And that is critical if you want to be a successful trader. Yes, sir.
That is critical. And to add to the more critical part is what's going on with the likes, guys.
Treat the like button like Michael Jackson. Just beat it.
They know what to do.
Alpha, this man is spitting out charts faster than rappers.
They're good. They're good. Guys, respect the like bouncer. Okay, so there's Link.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm talking about Link now, Raymond. I'm talking about Link. Okay, so here's Link. You can see once again, we are at resistance. Okay, so big horizontal resistance play for Link. So if you are sitting in a Link position, you can be like me. You can take some profit. Or alternatively, you can look for the hedge play. Where can you do the hedge play? Here in this region. Or alternatively, big short zone higher up at 13. Okay, both of these are big areas here. Both of these are big zones that you want to pay attention to on Link. So that is a potential hedge play if you are running a current long position. Now, what do you do if Link reverses and the market falls over? Best zone for me, 11.74. Look at this. Anchored VWAP here, 382 in play. Beautiful horizontals in play here for us as well. So watching that 11.74, nice little banger zone for Link, and then an absolute cracker at 11.34. Now this is great if you've got proper bias here on this market. That's where you can accumulate a nice little zone for yourself. You want to buy in those types of areas, and then the ultimate goal is obviously to send that a lot higher. Okay, so this would be a bullish type of retest here, bullish bounces in these zones, buy it up there, looking for that big long, and then your exit plan would be loss and close under the 50-day moving average. So for me, that would be roughly 11.25. If you close under that, it's looking ugly out there. You don't really want to be sitting, sweating, and being uncomfortable. So just remember that, remember your risk along the way. Then I closed my SUI long. It was too big to ignore. Okay, it was an absolute pumper yesterday, that SUI. So I closed it at resistance. I'm going to show you guys where and why we closed that thing. I do have GRT left and IMX. They are slow burners at the moment. You can see my current GRT stop is 0.152 and my current entry is 0.155. So letting it play out for now. Let's see how this goes. And those are my trades on WEX. Now let's talk SUI quickly. And Uncle dropped this in the newsroom and he says, this is massive. Okay, so I thought, well, if Uncle says this is massive, then this must be massive. Okay, so IKA MPC network brings programmable BTC, ETH, and SOL to SUI. So anyone here that speaks fundamentals, I mean, you must be frothing at the mouth now from excitement, especially if you like SUI. And let's talk SUI. Okay, so Short Squeeze says, when laser eyes. Guys, we actually need to get Ray a set of laser eyes. Can somebody do that? Can somebody arrange some laser eyes for Ray? And I've actually got I've got some merch, guys. I've bought a whole ton of t-shirts. I'm getting them branded, okay? I want to do some giveaways for you guys. It's coming soon, okay? We make some cool shit for you. It's on its way. Okay. Let's talk SUI. Why was that a rejection zone for me? Why did I close that SUI position? It was it was too good. Okay, it was our major 618 pull on SUI, big rejection zone, 2.07. That was a danger zone for me. I closed that trade. We were moving on. Remember the principle that I explained to you guys yesterday is what we were looking for, typically like this: pump, bounce on support, pump, bounce on support, and then some kind of further continuation on SUI. Now, if the market's going to behave itself, we want to see the exact same principle play out on SUI in this example. So we're looking for a bullish bounce now on SUI. And how can we do that? We can start looking at typical reaction zones. So we've had a beautiful pump out of the market, looking nice. Now, yesterday we said we're looking for bullish retests. These are the zones. These are the areas of interest for you. So the first one is this region here. We are at 2. Okay, so if you're looking to accumulate or start building a position, could be something there. Alternatively, 1.926. And then the big one for me, by the time we get there, everyone is sweating. Okay, everyone is sweating. 1.8. Okay, so these are your long zones. These are your reaction zones. Now, very simple game plan, the same way with the other ones that I've spoken to you about. You can try leverage positions on 1.926. That could be interesting. You can try leverage positions on 1.8. But what you can also do is if you have a bullish bias that the market is cooking, BTC is going to hold support, we're going for the next leg up. If you have that bias, ladder in. Okay, very simple game plan. 1.926, 1.8, have some buyers ready there for yourself, and then you can start playing your stop at a close under 1.74. Or alternatively, you can say if we lose those lows, you are out of the picture. So that would be a close under 1.6 for SUI. So we are nearly there with some SUI retest zones. Those are very interesting levels for me on SUI. Keep your eyes on this thing. We've seen a nice bullish pump from the market, maybe a little breather, and then this thing starts pumping again. So keep that on the list. And don't forget, everybody, all these charts go into Sniper Club directly after the show. So if you're part of Sniper Club, you know where to get my charts. They're in my channel, and just go there. Ray drops them there for us. Now, Phantom is an interesting one for me, and we are looking, looking good. Okay, so big pump for Phantom. What have I done here? I've looked for reaction zones, and you can see immediately Phantom is reacting on zone number 1. Why is this an interesting zone? I've got anchored VWAPs, I've got horizontals, I've got a 236. Now, we know the 236 fib is the most bullish fib, but it's not the most reliable. Okay, so it's really if we're trying to chase something and catch something, that is where we start looking on the 236. For me, the best play, the 382 fib, the 618, those normally offer up the best moves. Like you saw with PEPE, for example, they normally give you the best reaction. So for me, I don't have a Phantom position now, and I'm looking for one. If I'm going to buy Phantom, it's not where it is right here. I prefer it down at 0.67. So for me, that's my starter region for Phantom, 0.67. And then alternatively, you've got the 618, the exact same principle. You're just looking for some kind of reaction in those areas. You can dial in 15 minutes, even lower if you want to be full degen when it drips into those zones. You dial into those areas, and then you can even use something like Wavemaster. Now you can see MDX Wavemaster here at the bottom. What is it telling me? It's telling me on the 4 hour, this thing wants to turn over. Okay, so it's telling me 4 hour time frame, we are potentially a little bit more bearish. But what is it telling me on 12 hour time frame? It's telling me we are bullish on the 12 hour time frame. We want to churn higher. So this is why I keep saying I've got a bullish bias here. I'm looking for short-term pullbacks in some of these zones, and that is why it's interesting to me. So we can then dial in on lower time frames if you want to look for short-term scalp entries. Okay, and you can see Wavemaster is not quite at the bottom yet. We're waiting for this thing to really dip lower. We want to see something like this start printing on Wavemaster. When we get those types of levels, then you get these little pumps out of the market, and then that could be one of the lows. So ideally, when this 1 hour starts really turning green down here, I'd like to see Phantom either on 67 or 64. If it's turning green on one of those zones, that could tell us entry time. Then we can look at the 4 hour time frame and say, where are we on the 4 hour? And most likely by then, your 4 hour will be pretty near the lows or pretty near the bottom, and then you start looking for that bigger move. But remember, 12 hour daily, things looking bullish, looking like we're going to have some kind of short pullback and then start sending this thing. So there's a little tip for you guys that you can play with. If you like MDX Algo, there's a link in the description for you guys. Chaos trades a lot with it in Sniper Club, and he's got some bots running as well. There's all sorts of stuff going on. So if you want to give MDX Algo a go, that's just Wavemaster that you've seen there at the bottom, but there's a whole suite of indicators that they have available, and everything is there for you in the show description underneath. So just jump in there. Anything you've seen me talking about, from the no KYC exchanges that I'm using, WeX, Prime XBT, ZoomX, it's all there for you guys. MDX Algo is there, Sniper Club is there, Bitfunded is there. It's all there. Okay, the entire thing is there. And most importantly, this poll's concerning me, Raymond. 73% are bullish, 27% straight to zero. Now, let me know in the chat, who's the bulls and who's the bears here? Can you guys please let me know? This is very important information. I need to know who's voting here. Let me see in these chats here. Let's see. And Daniel's long Celestia. Guys, I've got Celestia coming. It's on its way. Let's see what else we got. Love those fibs. Guys, let me know. Let me know. I see Tindo, the African degen, says smash the likes. Guys, bullish. Okay, there. Hassan's bullish. Stefan, are you bullish, bro? I need to know. You're asking about the goats, bro. I want to know if you're bullish. Double Chill's bullish. Okay, this is good stuff. Stefan says, bah. Bearish short term. Fair call. Mia's bullish. Bull, yeah, I suppose we got to define the timing. Yes, let's be correct. Okay, short term, yes. I'm a little bit bearish short term, as you can see, but bullish long term, I agree. And Richard says, fuck the bear moon. Guys, we need to look at this bear moon. We got to find this bear moon. It's time to pull these moons back out. Okay, let's go. So Sui, You've got the drill. Okay, look at this. I mean, look at this. We're going to get entries here today. The entries are coming. Just be patient. Make sure you're watching closely. Phantom, entries are coming. They're coming. Okay, let's talk Celestia, the biggest shitcoin in the history of shitcoins. Okay, and Ray will concur, I believe, because Celestia has wrecked Ray more times than an old pirate ship.
Shit.
So 176 million token unlocks today. Total value, a small amount, ladies and gentlemen. It's only $900 million. Okay. Apparently $92 million on stake. $92 million on stake, but the rest are, okay, a potential sell pressure of only $470 million on an absolute shitcoin. Okay. Very interesting stuff going on with Celestia. Okay. Let's look at the chart. Absolute dog shit. Now, I mean, yeah. Okay, my suspicion on Celestia is everybody is going to try and short this thing. So I do suspect we're going to have a vicious bounce here. We're going to have a squeeze up. We're going to do all these things. Would I want to touch this now? It's too risky. Okay, for me, I just feel like I'm going to get rinsed 2 or 3 times trying to long this thing. And then eventually it will work. Okay, I see Emre saying Celestia is a massive fraud. Fuck. Well, guys, I don't know. I mean, Maddie says, is XRP better than Celestia? Matt, of course not, man. Don't be ridiculous, bro. Don't be ridiculous. Okay, so Celestia, look, you can see we're under pressure now. This 4.7 level, it's sweating. Okay, now if you were an early investor in Celestia and you've only just got your tokens unlocked, you've just watched it. Okay, let's just explain. If you were in the eyes of an investor, okay, you were buying before this thing got listed on exchanges. So you were buying it pre these types of levels too. You were buying it probably $1, 50 cents. You were buying it down there. Now you've sat through an entire bull run on Celestia from November 23. Okay, you've watched all these paper gains. You've watched it all done. Okay, you've watched the Lord of Entry and Ray saying Celestia is an absolute shitcoin. Okay, you've sat through all of this for 2 years. Okay, what do? If you are 4x up on your investment, do you sell some or do you hold it because you believe Celestia fundamentally is going back to the moon? Well, I can tell you what, I'd definitely be taking a little bit of profits if I got my unlock today. So that is why I suspect there's going to be a little bit of pressure. But at some point, the shorts are going to be piling in here. And at some point, we're going to get a squeeze. So where could I potentially look for an entry if I were you? If you get a hard wick, a hard sell, okay, into that zone, bang, that is what you're going to look for. So Celestia, look for that dip into 3.9, sniff around there. By the time it gets to 3.9, there's going to be late shorters all over the place climbing in. Then I think you're going to get some kind of squeeze on Celestia. So give it a go there. If you're going to try, remember degens, okay, tight stops, manage your things, but most importantly, look for the stop hunt. Look out for that wick under these lows. So look for the pressure wick and then a hard bounce. That's really all you need to do. Pressure wick to the downside and then a hard bounce. 20x shorted this morning, best trade of the year, Steve. Steve shorting Celestia. Rahul, I can only talk about ADA when the ADA girls come back and join us. So guys, you need to tag the ADA girls on Twitter and get them on my show. Then we're going to talk to them. Okay, let's get Injective going here.
Where are the Bitcoin girls at? Where's the BTC girl?
We don't have any. Where's the Celestia girl?
Would they be like the mature women section, or
I don't know. I wonder what the Celestia girls are like. Imagine what the XRP girls look like. The old grannies in Zimmer frames, bro. Imagine. Okay, Injective. This was an important one for us yesterday because it really explains a short-term bearish and a longer-term bullish setup very nicely for us. And Injective was just such a good example. So I just want to remind you guys where we were yesterday on Injective. We pumped beautifully. What did we hit? We hit a bear zone, rising trend, 50-day moving average, anchored VWAP, 100-day MA, horizontals. Okay, it's obvious. Okay, I mean, I don't want to say it's obvious, but it's pretty obvious. When you push into a zone like that, the odds start turning in your favor, for the reversal. So whether you're dropping into a zone like that, suddenly the odds start stacking in your favor. When you're pushing into a zone like that, they start stacking in your favor for some kind of reversal. So just remember that when you are playing these games. Massive resistance here for Injective. 20.3 to 20.6. Yeah, I mean, it was, I don't want to say it's obvious, but fuck, that was obvious. And now it's turned over. So big support now for me. Injective, where's my bullish buy zones? Because we still want to ride this thing higher. 19.2, 18.4, 19.2, 18.4. Those are your buy zones for injective. So they haven't changed. We're nearly on that zone from yesterday. Okay, we nearly hit that area. Remember these entries I gave you yesterday, we are almost there. So just pay attention now. 19.2 hot zone incoming, 18.42 exact same principle. Now let's talk ZoomX competition. And I see Ray's also in contention. What number are you, Ray? You 15th or something. Where are you now?
No, I'm number 12 now.
He's number 12. Ray's grinding hard. Okay, Ray's coming. Ray's coming for the winning. So you can see Popcat is a good kitty. Okay, is coming 6 at the moment. So I've started building my next Popcat trade. I'm going to give you the exact levels that I'm buying at. I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm trading Popcat, so we can all go to zero together. Or alternatively, we'll all go to the moon together. It's pretty simple. And that is me now in the ZoomX comp. So I got invalidated, okay? And I had to reload my account. So that affected my P&L. Then I caught a Popcat pumper. So we had 60% now P&L on Popcat. So let me give you the exact setup that we are playing here. And this is what I'm up to. So I've grabbed my first entry on Popcat in hot zone number 1. So I've got a small buy in there at 1.7, give or take, was my first average buy on Popcat. So that is what we're looking at there. Then I'm laddering in my next zone. I've got a limit order set at around about 1.614, somewhere in that zone. Okay, another limit order there. And then I've got a limit order set 1.49. 1.49. Okay, and that was about $1,000. This is going to be about 1.5, and this is going to be about $2,500. So by the time we get there, if we still keep grinding down, I'm looking for that slingshot play on Popcat. So that is my strategy. And I've realized, with things like Popcat, the volatility of these things, and it's fun trading it on 20x, but you might get stopped out 3 or 4 times before you get that proper momentum. So my new strategy, very simple: small position, low leverage, ladder in on key zones, looking for that pullback. And if we hit one of them and it bounces, we in the trade. We can always add on momentum. Or if we start really bleeding lower, we haven't risked our full capital amount, letting it fall over, hits the next zone, then let it drift lower, hits the next zone, low leverage, small positions. And then if it does play out, well, then we're cooking. Okay, then we've got a nice size, and the thing starts cooking for us. America on Sol had 1,000x gains yesterday. That's why it's trending on Radium. Guys, just be careful, okay? Just be careful of that thing, okay? That just sounds like a rug on its way. Be safe, be safe, be safe. I agree, the election narrative is strong, but guys, how do you pick the right one? It's very tricky. Okay. CAS, let's go. Now, everybody has been feeling the CAS burn. Okay, I'm sure Chaos, he's been so quiet about this CAS lately. And Zeddy says Popcat girls are quadrobers. What's a quadrober, bro? Can somebody enlighten me? Okay, so CAS, I'm sure the CAS traders out there are under pressure. And what I wanted to give you was CAS on a 3-day chart, because this gives us a nice impression as to where this thing could bounce for us. So first thing I want to highlight, there is danger coming on CAS if it starts losing this 93 zone. If it starts losing this 93 zone, it's going to be quite a fast elevator, okay, down there. It's not something we want, okay? We're going to be buying CAS at 54, okay? So we don't want to see that. What is in our favor here for CAS? What is working for us? So you can see Wavemaster on the 3-day at the lows. What did it do? Pump, okay? Wavemaster on the 3-day at the lows. What did it do? Pump. Here we go. Wavemaster on the 3-day at the lows. What did they give us? Little pump. Okay. Wavemaster is basically going to zero. It's like negative here. It is so deep. Okay. So there's obviously people exiting or doing whatever they're doing. Okay. But it doesn't mean this thing can't reverse. So I would suggest a reversal level on CAS for you guys and a potential nice trade. Okay. Literally like a nice degen trade here on CAS. Anything from 0.1 down to 0.096. Okay, look out for that. Look out for, I bet you they're going to do this, right? Liquidity hunt, little grab, send. Okay, look out for that. Okay, so it's very important when you're planning your trade that you cater for some kind of stop hunt on these big type of levels, because quite often they send it down, grab liquidity, send it back up. So just remember the strategy there of the market makers. So I would say look for entries here from 0.1 down to 0.95 even. Okay, 0.1 down to 0.95. Look out for the stop hunt a little bit lower, even pressure down to 90. Okay, so make sure you manage your position. If you're laddering in, Remember, not massive size, just ladder in slowly. When it gets momentum, you can start adding and start getting that thing going. So I think there's a cash reversal coming, and it would be pretty strange to see if it starts dumping lower. I think there'd have to be something fundamentally wrong there on that cash. So yeah, we'll have to see. And when Chaos is on the show next, we'll obviously get him to give us his thoughts on that. And then let's talk WIF. WIF is in a hot zone, okay? For anybody interested, WIF is in hot zone number 1, 0.382. I've taken a small position on the WSOT competition. It's the last day of the competition. Now, I've been waiting for some kind of banger that I can triple the size and send, and I'm just not. The ones I've chosen, Injective, AVAX, WIF, they've all been a little bit slow relative to like PopCat and Link Today and PEPE and all these others. So I'm hoping one of these can get something going for me. And WIF is now sitting in our first potential bounce zone. I've got double anchored VWAP here. I've got a 382. I've got horizontal. You can see there's a reaction happening in this area. This could be the start of something. So my best suggestion here is accumulate on dips into these lows. When we break that trend, momentum, add, send. That's the best play. If we do get some further weakness, 2.4 is what you're going to watch. So levels now for WIF, 2.52. Look for that move here. Lower down, 2.41. One of these should give you the move, but I like that WIF is sitting on this region now. Watch the consolidation. Look for the trend break. Then maybe there's something on there for WIF. Okay. That's a wrap from me, everybody. So entries are coming. You know the drill. You know some resistance zones. You know your targets for BTC. You know your upside levels. Let's go. Okay, let's go. Let's see if these things hold for us. And remember, I'm back tomorrow. So, you know, whatever goes down, we're unpacking it tomorrow. See you guys later.
I'm jumping in that whip 100x. Let's fucking go.